We have to decide in our life what we're going to stand for. An identity, an embodiment, something that we're going to stand for. Imagine this for a moment. You're 17 years old. You're living in a country that if they find you, they will hang you in the square as an example. So you're spending the time trying to keep people safe, families safe, bring guns in to keep them safe, smuggle people out to keep them safe at 17 years old. Who's that man? That's my dad. My dad was part of a movement back in 1946 called the Five Mavericks. And what he was doing with his four friends at 17 years old was bringing guns in to protect the families and bringing the families out to get them safe. And they caught two of them, and they tortured them to get the names of the other three, including my father. And they were going to hang all five in the square as an example. So my dad went and got fake papers. Our family name is not Abraham, it's a taken name. It's my great-granddad's name. They got fake papers for all five. The three that were still out helped the two escape. My dad at 17 years old, got out of that country and then came to the U.S. with nothing. 4 days before my dad passed away, he was sitting in a wheelchair. We were in a rehab center, and I asked him about this story. And I said, at 17 years old, and we never thought he was going to pass away. We thought he was going to come out, so I didn't record it. I wish I recorded it so I could hear his voice. He's sitting in this wheelchair, and I said, Dad, you're 17 years old? You know, at 17, I know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about guns. I wasn't thinking about being hunted. I mean, I was probably on the hunt for a date or something, but I wasn't doing anything. Why would you do it at 17 when you knew that they'd hang you if they caught you? He sat up in that wheelchair, and he just looked at me, and he put his hand on my knee, and he said this, because it was the right thing to do. What's in our lives right now that we know is the right thing to do? And that's the way Dad lived his life. That's the thing. But you know what? Inflection point. Remember, we started with inflection point. My dad was the inflection point. 1946, he made a decision. 1946, he decided to do something that violated laws of the land, that jeopardized his well-being. Now, I don't know whether it was a big deal to him to do it or a small deal for him to do it, because all he used was, it was the right thing to do, so he did it. But here's what I do know. Had Dad not made that decision, had Dad not been the inflection point in our family tree, this wouldn't have happened. That's my dad. That's my brother. That's my identical twin brother. Yes, I got a twin. There's two of us. Okay, our wives think that we share the brain. It's about which one has it in the moment. And that's my son in front of me, his son in front of him. That's my son growing up with his wife and my two little granddaughters. An inflection point. If Dad didn't make a decision in 1946, I wouldn't be here with you. I wouldn't be having this conversation. The books I've written would have never been written. The speeches I've given would never have been given. The experiences we created wouldn't be created. But more importantly, this would have been wiped out. What decision do you know that you need to make that becomes the inflection point in your life today that sets a different trajectory for tomorrow? That isn't a decision you're making for yourself. It's a decision you're making for everything that follows. The generations, because that moment matters. There is no inconsequential moment. There is no inconsequential decision.